whatever position you like. So if you want to sit, if you want to lay down, if you want to curl up with a pillow, whatever you want. And then today is actually the first day of fall. And I'm glad I caught that before I started this class, because I was going to teach a summer class. But now that we're in fall, I was able to switch it up last minute and we can do a fall class. So it'll be really good. Fall is connected to one of the elements, like we talked about in the other class. And fall is connected to the metal element, which is actually my favorite. I love the metal element. I have asthma from when I was a kid, and metal is connected to your lungs, and it's also connected to your large intestine. And metal is also connected to your throat chakra. So we hold a lot of grief in our throats, which is very interesting. If you think about maybe someone that's passed that you really love, you'll notice that it's your throat that starts to kind of close up there and feel all the emotions. And that's where we carry grief. So I've noticed a lot in my life that the times in my life where I've really been grieving something, either a loss of a person, a loss of myself, a loss of a former life, I've really felt it in my throat. I've really felt it in my lungs. My asthma will start to act up a lot. So now that you kind of know that little fact, you can notice it in your own life. And a big part of fall and grieving is letting go. So this whole season, this whole element all these postures will be about letting go and learning how to absorb all the good stuff and just kind of let go of all the crappy stuff. So hopefully the fall classes are the metal classes are usually the ones that really get me in my emotions. So if you're feeling like, whoa, I'm like hysterically sobbing right now, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, just know that it's all normal and just let it out, let it go, let it out and let it go. And you can always turn your camera off. Like, not a big deal. I don't judge. I've cried in so many yoga classes. Like, so many. All right, so when you're ready, just go ahead and close your eyes. Just taking a moment to breathe here in and out of your nose. Just noticing where you're at today, where the breath is at today, which will be a really important part of these metal practices. Breathing in and breathing out. On this next inhale, you'll start to breathe in through your nose, breathing in a little bit more air, and a little bit more air, and a little bit more, and letting out a gentle exhale through the mouth. And again, breathing in through your nose, a little bit more, a little bit more, holding it there at the top, and just letting out a gentle exhale. One more time, same thing. Just breathing in as much as you can, maybe a couple more sips of air. And then exhaling through the mouth. Can keep your eyes closed here. And we're just going to do a little body scan. So we'll start with our toes. And you just want to check in, see how they're doing, not judging them, not changing them, just checking in, and then letting go. Noticing and letting go. Moving on to the front of your foot and the soles of your feet. Again, just noticing. Moving on to the heels and the ankle. Seeing what's going on in your body today. From there, moving to your calves and your shins. Remembering to breathe in and out of your nose. From there, we'll move to our knees and the backs of our knees. Breathing the whole time. Moving up through our legs into our thighs. The tops of our legs, our seat. Just checking in and seeing how we're feeling today. From there, moving into our stomach, our lower back, our mid back, our torso, our chest, upper back. Just breathing and noticing. Remembering that we can always connect back to the breath at any time. From there, moving into our fingertips, our fingers, the palms of our hand, the backs of our hand, our wrists. Just noticing where we're at today. Breathing in and breathing out. Moving up through our forearms, to our elbows. Just checking in. The tops of our arms, our shoulders. Breathing in and breathing out, noticing and letting go. Moving into our necks. And our faces, chin, cheeks, ears, nose, eyes, back of the head, top of the head. Breathing and noticing the space. Maybe you start to imagine a white light or water just passing through, starting with your toes and moving its way through its body, through your body. Taking any thoughts and judgments with it. Just passing through and releasing out of the body. Taking a moment here to bring our hands to our chest and just setting an intention for your practice today. It could be something as simple as making sure to drink a lot of water, or something as large as sending love to everyone in the world. It's your intention, it's your practice. Taking another moment here to take a big deep breath in through the nose and out of your mouth. Ah. 2 more times, big deep breath in. Breathing in a little bit more air and a little bit more. And exhaling out of the mouth. Ah. And one more time, big inhale. And nice big exhale. Ah. From here, go ahead and bring your fingers to interlace, and we'll just roll those wrists in one direction, and then roll them in the other. When you've had enough of that, you can gently place them on your knees and just drop your chin to your chest. Rolling over to the left, and this time all the way around. Now, if your neck tends to be very sensitive, you don't have to go all the way around. You can just go from left to right. But we want to make sure that we're getting every little space here. We also have our lymph nodes in our neck. That's just another space where we have lymph nodes. And our lymph is liquid that's in our body. And when it becomes stagnant, you can notice that you'll have a lot of health issues. So it's really important to keep the lymph in your body moving. A good way to do that is walking. Another good way is just simple movements like this. When you've had enough of that, you can start rolling your shoulders back, really big rolls here. This one always gets me. I could do this all day and still feel like the little crunchy. It's annoying, but it feels good. Yeah, man, they just like crunch it. And then if you'd like, you can go in the opposite direction. That way it doesn't crunch for me. It's only the other way. And then when you've had enough of that, you can go ahead and stretch your feet out long. They're probably feeling a little stuffed up now. And we'll just roll our ankles in one direction. And the other. It's all these little micro movements that you don't think mean anything. And then one day you're 60 and you can't roll your ankles anymore. And you're like, what? I used to be able to do this. And then go ahead and just shake that energy off your legs. Brush it right off. Get it right out of here. And shake your legs a little bit here. And we'll bring our legs into a windshield wiper here. So you'll just place your hands right behind you. Your fingertips can be pointing towards your seat. Your knees are bent, your feet are flat on the ground. And you'll just gently rock your knees back and forth. Just windshield wiping your legs here. This pose is really good for your hips, but it's also really good for your internal organs. So when we do these kinds of poses, you're moving your organs around and kind of squeezing them out. It's an internal detox. You'll hear people say, I hate it, but I say it too. It's like a natural way to cleanse your body. And then from here, you'll gently start to push your way up. And we'll cross our feet in front of us and come over our legs into a tabletop. Bringing your hands right below your shoulders, your fingertips spread out nice and wide so they're firmly planted on the ground. Your knees will go right beneath your hips here. And they'll be about hips width distance apart. If you can't figure out what that is, you can just put two fists together and put them right in between your knees. And they should fit perfectly. And you'll always know that's hips width distance apart. So it'll always be two fists. Boom. Easy. And then we'll just do a little bit of cat and cow here. So we'll inhale for cow, arching your back. Letting your throat open nice and wide here. And then exhaling for that scaredy cat pose. And then inhaling again for cow. If you have a lot of lower back pain, you'll really feel it in this cow pose. And then exhaling again for cat. And one more time, inhaling for cow. Exhaling for cat. And if you'd like, you can just do some subtle movements on your own here. So I like to look over one shoulder, look over the other. I also like to turn my wrists around, which can be intense. And then just roll on my wrists here. If you work on a computer a lot, this one is gold. This is like the money pose right here. The first few times I did it, I freaked out because I just had never moved my wrists in that way. And I was like terrified. I thought they were gonna break. But now, oh my gosh, I do it like every day. Another thing that you don't think of, wrist strength. You're like, what? But when you're 60, 70, 80 years old, you think back to these classes. You can go ahead and flip your wrist back there. And then we're going to come into a wide knee. So you're going to stretch your knees out as wide as the mat, toes touching. And inhale, lifting your chest up. And as we exhale, you'll just slowly lower down into a child's pose. Now, if a wide knee child's pose is too much for you today, you can always close your knees. And you'll just gently place your forehead on the mat if it reaches. And breathe. You can rock your forehead back and forth if you start to feel that anxiety from sitting in the pose. But we'll be here for a couple minutes. Just breathing in and out of your nose. Remembering that in Yin, we hold the poses for 3 to 10 minutes. I wouldn't keep you in these poses for 10 minutes, but we can hold them for up to 10 minutes. And the idea is that the chi, the energy in our body, is moving. So when we stay in these poses for a long time, we're giving the chi the chance to move energetically through our body in the places that we need, particularly the metal element. And our body is able to work through any stuck energy that we may have lingering in our body. So any traumas that we may still be holding on to, any grief that we may still be holding on to. Again, just breathing in and breathing out. Just like an angel. Hip openers can be very intense. So just knowing that you're okay. We're all in this together. You can always come out of it if it gets to be too much. Remembering to breathe. Control. On your next inhale, you'll slowly start to move yourself up. We'll come into a hero's pose. So you're just sitting back on your heels, knees on your hands on your knees. And then just taking a moment here to tuck your toes underneath and sitting back on your heels. So we're just tucking our toes here and sitting right back on them. It's really uncomfortable. You're going to hate me for it. But just breathing here for a couple seconds. Even I hate it. I'm like rubbing my legs, like, oh my God, why are we doing this? But again, another little micro pose that you think your toes, like, what? Who cares? Why would you stretch your toes? But one day, you'll be glad you did. And then from here, just gently bringing your feet around to the front, your legs around to the front. We're going to come into a reclined butterfly. So I like to get down on the ground first because I'm old. Like, my body's cranky. So bring your feet to the ground, knees bent, and slowly just start to lower yourself back down to the mat. I like to tighten my stomach muscles here. So yoga teachers like to say, engage your core. I think that when they say that, they're not really explaining what they mean. So tighten those stomach muscles as you're lowering yourself down. Really feel that burn there. And when you get to the bottom, we're going to bring we're coming into something called Supta Baddha Konasana, which is a reclined butterfly pose. So you're basically going to bring your feet to touch, and your knees are going to be spread wide. And so you're in a butterfly pose, but you're laying down. So here, I'll show you. So your feet are going to be touching like this. And your knees are going to be spread out, but you're going to be laying down. I'll send you a recording if you send me your email. Have a good one. And just breathing here. In and out. Reclined butterfly is another one of those poses that are very intense. It's a big hip opener. You're pretty exposed in this pose. And I think that our bodies have a tendency, just a primal tendency, to feel very vulnerable when our bodies are exposed like this and open wide like this. Which I think makes it even more important to do poses that open us up in this way. Giving us the ability to feel safe and vulnerable. Again, just breathing in and breathing out. On my exhales, I like to imagine my body getting heavier and just sinking deeper into the ground and into the pose. Helps me to not like tense up and hold on to everything. Just helps me to kind of let go. Trust that the universe is holding me. Trust that the ground is holding me. I don't need to hold myself up here. Breathing in. And breathing out. Sometimes there's only two knowing that we're not here forever, but while we are here, let's try to enjoy it. Breathing in. And breathing out. Again, not placing any judgment of ourselves, not trying to change anything, not critiquing anything. The way our bodies are in these poses today are exactly how they're supposed to be. On an inhale, you'll slowly start to rock and roll yourself back up to seat. And once you get there, we're actually going to come back into butterfly, but this time seated. And we'll go ahead and take the palms of our hands and flip them up. And you're just going to slide one under one leg, slide the other under the other leg, and then slowly lower your head down. If that's too much, you can always take your hands out and just put them around your feet. Whatever's best for you today. Breathing in and breathing out.
This feels so good on my legs.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my god.
It's like a little pretzel.
Yes.
Remembering to breathe. When there's no breath, there's no life. So we always got to remember that breath is the life force here. Breath is what we have. We can always calm down with the breath. We can always push through something with our breath. It's a lot more powerful than we realize. Inhaling through your nose and out of your nose. When you're ready, we'll slowly move ourselves out of that pose. And we'll slowly make our way back to the ground again. That's the last time we'll be up. So we'll be on the ground from here on out. So again, just stretching your arms out long, feet flat to the ground, knees bent. Engage that core. And when you get down there, go ahead and squeeze your knees into your chest. You can even bring your nose to your knees. Nice tight squeeze there. Lowering your neck back down to the mat. And just rolling our knees out in one direction. Breathing in and out of your nose here. And then rolling in the opposite direction. Squeezing your knees into your chest one more time. Placing your left hand gently on the side of your right knee. Stretching your right arm out to a T. And then slowly lowering your knees over to the left hand side. And you'll gaze over that right arm there. Remembering to breathe in and out. This pose is called a supine twist. So we're taking a supine twist over to the left hand side. These energetic lines that run through our body, the ones connected to our large intestine, runs through the side of our body. So it's very interesting. You would think these lines would connect to the actual organ, but they don't. They're just meridian lines throughout our bodies. Remembering to breathe here. On your next inhale, you'll gently bring your knees back towards center. Maybe giving them another squeeze here. Maybe rolling them out again in one direction. And rolling them out in the other. Bringing them tight to your chest. Placing your right hand gently against the side of your left knees. Stretching your left arm out to your left side. And then slowly pushing your knees over towards the right. Stretching out that left arm and gazing over your left shoulder. So for me, in Yin, they say that your right side is your masculine energy, your relationships with men, your sun, and they say that your left side is your yin side, and that's the connection with the moon, the connection with the females in your life, and the connection with your feminine energy, but also the connection with yourself. And so you may notice that one side is more tense than the other, or you may be pretty balanced and they may be feeling pretty good on both sides. But if you notice that one is more tense than the other, you might want to check in with any of those dynamics and see if it fits. For me personally, my relationship with myself is always up and down. And I have a lot of sisters and a mom, and all the relationships there are chaotic. So my left side tends to be where I hold all the pain, all the trauma, all the grief. So it can get pretty tender over there. And that's okay. We just do the best we can and breathe through it. Taking a couple more breaths here. Slowly starting to move your way back to center. Maybe giving yourself a nice big hug one more time. And stretching your left leg out long. Stretching your right leg out long. Stretching your left arm out long. Stretching your right arm out long. Maybe you tuck your shoulder blades underneath you to alleviate some pressure on your lower back. Taking a big deep breath in through your nose and out of your mouth. Ha. Coming into your final resting pose. We'll play these sound bowls. Maybe you're playing them on your side. You can turn them up nice and loud and enjoy. And just breathe. Slowly start to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Bringing life back into our bodies. Maybe you rock your head back and forth. Gently breathing in and out of your nose. Slowly rolling over to our left side. You can use your arm as a little pillow here. Just breathing. And again, checking in with your body. And just seeing how you feel now. Not changing anything, not judging anything, just noticing. Breathing in and breathing. When you're ready, you can make your way up to a seat. Bringing your hands to your chest here again. I always hold them like this, but you can also put them like this. This is really comforting too. Taking a big deep breath in through your nose. Breathing in a little bit more air there. And an exhale out of your mouth. Ha. And again, big deep inhale through your nose. Breathing in a little bit more air. And a little bit more air. And a little bit more air. And letting out a nice exhale. Ha. And for this last one, we'll take a nice big inhale. Breathing in a little bit more air. And a little bit more air. And a little bit more. And we'll exhale with an Om, which you don't have to do if you don't want to. You can just listen. Taking one more sip of air. Ah. Bringing your hands to the space in between your eyes, your third eye. Thanking yourself for making the time for you today. Extra time too, since you got to run in. Dropping your chin to your chest. As always, the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.